And now, more with Social Women with your hosts, Pat Cruz, Amy Diaz, and Bronwyn Dannenfelser.
And on the phone right now, we have empowerment speaker and author Loretta McNary. How are you, Loretta? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm absolutely amazing and improving. How about that?
Happy New Year. We love your energy.
She just made me smile. Hi, Loretta. This is Bronwyn.
Hey, Bronwyn.
Hi, Loretta. It's Pat.
Hi, Pat.
How are you?
I told you I'm awesome and improving.
We love that. We love that.
Well, Loretta, for those listeners that don't know who you are, could you just please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'll give you the short version. I'm a mother. I'm an empowerment speaker. I'm a published author. I'm a TV and radio show talk show host. And I am a founder of a girls mentoring program called Pink Eagles.
I read a little bit about Pink Eagles, and I definitely want to talk to you about that in a few minutes, but you sound like a superwoman, just like Pat and Bronwyn over here.
And Amy.
You're probably going to be able to give us a little bit of tips for your TV hosting, so if you can send over some tips, that'd be great after the show.
Oh, I would love to. And this, you have my number, so anytime I'm a phone call or email away, I'd love to share some of my experiences, what things that didn't work, and then those things that worked really well.
Great, because we will definitely hear those out. But you know what? Let's just go right into it. Your book, Faith for the Next Step. You have 52 messages in it. Could you just tell me a little bit about your book?
Yes, love to. Faith for the Next Step is really a book that kind of talks about my life from a 50,000 square feet view, and at the same time, I talk about words, or 52 words, which I turn into messages that I struggled with, like faith and pride and tithing. I don't want to tithe when I don't have enough money, and I struggle with it. I struggle with family, trying to tie it all in together. I struggled with pride because I'm not one of those people who will just instantly ask for help or accept help. I want to do everything by myself, but what I've learned in the last few years is the vision that I have, that God has given me, is too big for me to do myself. So it's going to take people walking with me and me, because I'm a giver. I'm naturally a giver, and I talk about giving too. Because sometimes you can give to people and it will hurt them instead of helping them. So you have to know the balance. So there's just 52 words that I talk about, and I have a scripture that relates to that word. And then I share either my experience with that particular word or someone else's that I think is a great, great person who has overcome tremendous amounts of obstacles and trials and tribulations, and now they're very, very successful.
What a great thing. So what's the word of, give me the top 2 words out of the 52 that you had.
Oh, my goodness. The top 2 words, because the book is faith for the next step. And the first, I open up with faith. I have to talk about that because I in 1999, that was like my year of really being born. There was my physical date of birth, and then there was my birth of Loretta McNary, regardless of what everybody else wanted me to be. Okay, in February 99, my father passed from a horrific accident. He was an entrepreneur, and he died on his job at a customer's place of business. And I, being the middle child, had to take care of everybody and do everything to, get that service done. And then in July 99, my firstborn son died from a seizure. And I went home, and my son was, he was gone. And that was the hardest thing. And I said, if I can live through that, Lord, I can live through anything. Nothing else can touch me physically, mentally, or spiritually. Just get me through this. And, of course, he did 12 years later. And so faith is something that I've had to have redefined for me. And when you talk about faith, it's walking without sight, just based on a feeling of intuition, and for my higher being is God. So just being totally dependent, so I'm redefining what faith is for me and obviously a lot of people. And the other one was pride, not allowing people to give to me. I could give to them freely. I'd give my last of anything to anybody, basically, but I would not allow people to get that same satisfaction of helping me by allowing them to help me. So those are my top 2.
Wow. Now, with the new year, I know there are 52 words and 52 messages. Would you recommend people to take a word a week? Is that something that you do?
I would say, take the whole book at one sitting because it's so, and that's what people say, I can't put it down, and that's what an author wants to hear. Those are my favorite words. I cannot put the book down. And so then, because it's timeless, it's perpetual, you can, whenever you're struggling with something, you can just pick this book up and very easily, because none of the chapters are more than 2 pages long. Because I know, we're in a microwave society. People don't have a whole lot of time to devote to anything, really. So I made sure that the book's got a message, in-your-face kind of message, but lovingly caressing you through it, but not enough to where you will become codependent on the message. You really have to do the work. So, and of course, you can do it weekly. You can definitely do it as a devotional or affirmation weekly.
It's my kind of book.
Yes.
Short,
sweet,
short
straight to the point,
chapters.
and short, sweet, straight to the point, and inspirational.
Yeah, Pat likes the
Quick,
pamphlets.
right in your face.
It is. It's a very sweet book, but like I said, it will cause you to think, and some people said they had cried, and there was a point where I talk about love because, I have sons. I have 5 sons, actually.
Wow.
And I love them more than life itself, and I would do anything for them. But when I got to thinking about love, if they did something to disappoint me, or they didn't clean the dishes when I wanted to, or, maybe the report card wasn't as great as I wanted to because I wanted all A's, and maybe they had a B or a C, then I would pout. I would get mad at them. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever's listening, and, if they do something you don't like, you get mad at them. You don't want to return their calls. You just pout and, have this negative energy flowing.
Never.
I would do that with my son. And I'm like, that's not unconditional love. And to them, it seemed like I didn't love them, although I'm telling them I love you, but my actions were showing something different. So I had to again, redefine what love is. And it started with me, and I had to go and apologize to them for every time I did that, because I didn't want them to think that, I didn't love them ever.
And it weakens a relationship.
It does. Every relationship, because we think, okay, I'm just going to show them, or I'm negative. I want to prove a point, but you've proven a point, but not the one you want to prove.
That's fascinating. I'm also looking at some other things that you've done, and can you tell me a little bit more now about the Pink Eagles?
Yes, Pink Eagles is a nonprofit organization for girls ages 7 to 18, where we meet weekly, and we concentrate on 3 pillars, and they are self-esteem. So we talk about we teach social etiquette, leadership development, and entrepreneurial training, because I believe that every one of us that is living and breathing has a skill, a gift that can make money for them and will be a blessing to other people. So I encourage everybody to, to kind of pursue that thing and think it out, and whether you do it as needed, part-time, full-time, I think we all have that. So I teach that to the girls. And we did our first Pink Eagles pageant. We did our first Pink Christmas Gala. And so the girls have to do all this work. I don't do it by myself. They have to do work. We don't just meet and babysit. They have to write essays. They have to listen to speakers and ask questions. Every girl has to ask a question or make a comment every time a speaker comes.
And what is the age range of the Pink Eagles?
They're 7 to 18.
That's really cool, though, because we just had a guest on right before you, Loretta, and, we were talking about if you teach somebody how to fish, essentially, you're really getting the skills that they need to navigate through life. So if they start a little bit younger, and you can get people between 8, 9, 10, and really build up their confidence and help them find those things that they're good at. It's just what a gift to somebody, teaching them how to be able to walk and to deal with things. And so I love that.
Great life
You are
skill.
also a talk show host. So we wanted to know all about your red carpet experience. And I see that you interviewed Denzel Washington, one of my favorite actors of all time. What was your experience like to be on the red carpet?
Oh, wow. My show was only 1 year old when that happened, and it was not on my radar to do any red carpets at a year old. I didn't even think I could, And so I applied for one at the Stellar Awards in Nashville, and I was approved for that. And I said, I wonder what other awards are going on that I could possibly do. And I found Image Awards, and I had missed the deadline. I had totally missed the deadline for media credentials. And I applied anyway, and I was approved. And so I'm on the red carpet at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, and I interview all these stars that are coming out. And so we go into the media room inside, and after that interview with all these fabulous people, one of the ladies who lives in L.A. said, Loretta, come on, get your camera guy. Denzel is going down the hallway. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. She said, no, I already talked to him, and he's going to give you an interview. But mind you, Pat and Amy and Byron, he gave no interviews, only to CNN. Long story short, he did grant the interview. Me and my camera guy ran down the hall, and he was kind of like cornered just before he was going to get in his car. And he was so fabulous, he wanted to interview me. He wanted to know. He said, well, Loretta, tell me, how did you get into the business? And you know, I'm like, no, we really want to know about you. But he's so fabulous and humble. I mean, he's the most humble and amazing man I've ever met, other than my father. And he just did not want the spotlight. He wanted to talk to me, and he had his arm around my shoulder, and everybody asked, Loretta, how did you keep from fainting and just passing out and, you know, stumbling? I said, you know what? It's a mighty, mighty thing when you have the Holy Spirit who can take over for you, because had it just been me and my natural mind, that would have never happened.
That is, you know what, that right there.
After the fact, of course, I lost all cool points with everybody because I started screaming and yelling and jumping up and down.
I was saying, you rounded the corner and you were like, woohoo!
And cultured, and I know my business. But after he left, oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
There is a woman on a mission, so you can definitely talk about empowering other women.
You know, I was looking here. You've got this thing. One, you've got such incredible energy, and I just got to tell you, when you first came on, we all lit up and smiled just because they were like, "Hey!" And it's like you can feel your energy come flying through the airwaves, Loretta. It's fantastic. But you've got something called a no excuse zone. What's the no excuse zone?
The no excuse zone it should be your daily life. You know, there's always a reason for not doing something. There's always a reason to not start your business. It's the reason to not go back to school. It's a reason to not have kids. It's a reason to whatever. You can come up with excuses not to do those things all day long. You could probably, you know, fill a paper full of them. But the thing is, if you really want to do something, then there's no excuse big enough, grand enough, great enough to stop you. So I don't listen to people who have excuses. If you want me to help you, I will do everything I can do to help you. I will move a mountain to help somebody who's serious about it. But if you give me an excuse, then I'm totally finished with our conversation. And I tell my sons that too. I don't want to hear excuses. I do not want to hear excuses.
Because that means
when I go out and work out at Curves and I'm next lady in the circuit and she has one leg and she's exercising far harder than I could ever do it, or I go and see a child in school who knows what peer pressure is, and then you're handicapped and you're doing your thing and then you become valedictorian. So I have no room for excuses.
Well, no, because, you know, excuses mean that somebody's just stopped trying. And that's the worst part about it. Like, you can try and fail, but don't tell me you can't do it for any reason. I'm right with you on that one. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. You can come to me with a lot of crap, but don't give me excuses and don't lie to me, because that's all they are. They're just lies.
I have to say that today I did tweet your favorite mantra. The success comes to me because I live and operate in a no excuse zone, and I lead by helping others first. I love that. So I tweeted it out to my world of Facebook and Twitter friends.
That. And we have to have that mindset, because if you want to know what separates from average people, and it's because they continue even when it's hard, even when, you know, they don't have a car, even if they got to live somewhere they would rather be living somewhere else, even if nobody else believes in them, they just persevere. You know, and that's from Thomas Edison to Benjamin Franklin and, you know, Denzel Washington and the Sharon Stones. If you would hear their personal stories, it wasn't that easy for them. And it's not easy now. They just have name recognition and money. They still have things that challenge them.
Everybody has to work at what they do. It does not going to just be handed to you.
Every day. Every day.
Yeah.
So what do you have coming up, Loretta? What's new in the next month or in the next year for you?
Okay, this time of the year are when the major red carpets are happening. So, so in 2 weeks from today, though, I'll be selling to Cozumel and Progreso, Mexico for my birthday. But after that, I'll be going to L.A. to the Image Awards and to the 100 Night of 100 Stars Oscar viewing party. And then in March, I will hopefully be going to the Image Awards. In May, I'll be going to the Kentucky Derby. These are all red carpets that I'll be going to interviewing the celebrities and superstars.
Oh, my gosh.
We look forward to following you, and I'm sure that our viewers and listeners would love to follow you as well. this is just unbelievable that you can just get up and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And you went on, filled out applications and said, hey, how can we do it?
Never say they're going to say no. You don't know that for sure.
So,
and if they do, it's not personal. It's because they got too many people or it's just not right timing. But, yes, I get some no's sometimes. No, you can't. No, we don't have enough room. But I just said, okay, thank you. Next year I'll apply again. And, here I am going to, Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hills Hotel, interviewing people that I watched on TV when I was a little girl, And I interviewed the Dalai Lama, from him to Ed Asner to Gloria Allred and everybody else, and country music greats, Toby Keith, and
It's wonderful to see that you put your mind to something and that you actually go ahead and empower young women as well. So Loretta, if our viewers and listeners would love to follow your journey through all these red carpets, how can they do so?
My website is www.lorettamcnary.com. I'm on Facebook, The Loretta McNary Show. I'm on Twitter, Loretta McNary. And I'm always on Facebook, and my email address is loretta@lorettamcnary.com.
Thank you so very much for sharing your story with us and for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Loretta. You're an amazing lady.